Hello, and thank you for joining us again tonight for our lesson 3 of 3 on financial education, 10 ways to stretch your finances. Because we know that when we're in a financial crisis situation or when our finances drastically change from an overnight event, we have to make adjustments and find ways to cope so that we continue to move our family forward. This financial situation that some of us are dealing with, losing jobs, the pandemic that's going on around the world, should not be a stop sign. Yes, there are some things that are going to slow us down, but I believe that if we can use our creative mind that in our talents that we're given, then we'll be able to make the necessary adjustments to move through this storm a little smoother. It's all about educating ourselves and being willing to put healthier habits into practice. Joining me again tonight is my co-host, Miss Malaya Bray. I'm grateful to have her with me, sitting beside me, because this too is something new for me. I just wanted to give you a few minutes to like and share this video. If you're out there, go ahead and hit that like button and share so that someone on your timeline who may not be connected to me may also be able to see this video, and hopefully it is helpful for them as well. As you can see, I'm wearing my handy dandy financial freedom. That is my goal for 2020. If you haven't seen our store, our online store, it is Babes Tees, located at bonfire.com. You can access that website through our CWF organization.weebly.com. Click on the tab that says store, and you can see some of our inspirational t-shirts. Nonetheless, 10 ways to stretch our finances. Number one, plan your meals before going grocery shopping. This is a place where a lot of us get stuck. We go to the grocery store without a plan, and we're just buying up any and everything and nothing at all. So we got a basket full of junk food, meats, canned goods, things that we may or may not consume because we really don't have a plan. So then we find ourselves at home with a deep freeze or a freezer full of stuff that gets freezer burned or eventually thrown in the trash. So in a time of crisis, in order to cut spending, you have to be intentional with the groceries that you are purchasing for your family. And there are so many ways that you can cut your grocery budget by utilizing this plan. YouTube, I find, have a lot of videos on how to eat and feed your family on $20 a week, $30 a week, $100 a month. There's all kind of videos. It's all about finding one that works for you and your family and just learning to put that together. I personally feed my family on a little less than $200 a month. That's with everything. That is even with the household supplies that I purchase when I do grocery shopping. And I practiced this for a little over a year and a half, more intentionally, I think. A little over a year and a half now that I've been able to utilize this type of spending budget for my family when I'm purchasing groceries and planning out our meals. And it's evident that I do that because now I feed my family healthy stuff and they don't even know what they're eating. And if they ask me, what is this? Sometimes I can't even tell them because a lot of times it's stuff that I put together, those one pot meals, crock pot meals, stuff that I've searched on YouTube to try to find things that I can put together, things that I have in the pantry that I can put together. And they are filling. And not only that, there's plenty. And I can have it for leftovers. I can take it for lunch. I'm eating it for breakfast the next day. And it's delicious and it holds well. So that's number one. We all have to eat. And we're going to spend money to eat. Why not let those dollars be used a little more wisely? Again, if you're just joining me, write a comment in the comment section. Like this video and share it so that I know that you're there. I'm glad that you sacrificed your time to join me because I know that it's late in the evening and I see so many videos on Facebook Live. And so if you're not looking and listening to me, I hope that you are joining in with somebody and getting educated during this time, because now is not the time to sit down and feel sorry for ourselves and say, whoa, it's me. Now it's the time to start learning and start getting all the knowledge that we can and taking those suggestions that these people are giving and finding what works for you and your family. But nonetheless, I'm glad you're here with me tonight. Just put a comment in the comment section, like and share this video. Let me know that you're here, and I most certainly appreciate you being here with me. Number 2, unsubscribe to sites that tempt you. Now, we all have those email that we get from our favorite department stores or those text messages when they have a little flash sale. They're sending those things to our telephones. So all of this is after our money. And I've said that on a video prior to this one. Everything is after your finances. If you're not spending money on one thing, you can almost guarantee you're spending it on another. So you want to unsubscribe to those places like Bath and Body, Victoria's Secret, Stage, Factory Connection. Those are just some of the ones that send me the subscriptions and things like that. So that's one of the practices that I had to just eliminate. I had to unsubscribe to those because I was one of those that would like to go into Stage every other day or every other week and see what they had on sale, because I knew that the clearance racks were going to have a lot of good bargains. And not only that, I had the coupons, and so they gave me additional money off, and that was money that I was saving. And yes, we look at that, it's money that we save, but it's also money that we're spending unnecessarily when we don't necessarily need things. So it's good to have when you've already planned and budgeted for a day of shopping, like for back to school or for Christmas or something like that. But just for every day, having that stimulate your mind and stay fresh in your mind, and thinking that you need some new lotions or new fashion undies or whatever, it's unnecessary and it's tempting. And it's after our finances. And they send us those as a marketing strategy so that we will go out and make those purchases and buy. So I told you before, we people, our culture, we consume things. That's what we do. People who live in poverty are the ones that keeps these businesses and stuff functional in our communities. We're the ones. That's why they pop up in our communities. So we're the ones that are spending, and so we're the ones that they target to keep us buying and spending money. And oftentimes it's really money that we really can't afford, and those things aren't doing us any good. Number 3, and I've said this on the first 2 videos, practice saying no to others who impose upon your finances. One thing that I found is that people will have money and do everything that they desire to do with their money, and then they will come to you with their financial crisis or their financial situations. And I know you know people like this. Oftentimes they're the ones that are addicted. Oftentimes they are the ones that are trying to live a particular lifestyle that they're trying to maintain that they cannot afford. They make those purchases or they travel to these certain places, not really thinking long term on the consequences that spending that money or the money that they should have delegated for bills or for something of importance, they go and spend that, and then they come to you to bail them out. And I've told you, and I can't tell you enough of how important it is to just say no. It's okay to say no. Even with my kids being in college and being away from home a lot of times, I'm not there to tell them what they can spend and how to spend it and all of that. But they have a budget. That budget goes into an account, and they only have a certain amount. They can only spend what's in that account for them to spend. So they have to learn their money. So it's not, oh, mama, I spent my money. Can you give me such and such for such and such? It doesn't work that way. Their budget is their budget. There's no bailout plan here. Because if I continue to allow them to impose upon my finances, that sets my budget off balance. And that keeps me digging deeper and deeper in debt. So the practice of saying no to others who impose upon your finances, no matter how big their emergency seems like, because they're going to escalate it because they want from you. So they're going to manipulate it. They're going to want to control what you have continued to do for them over the years. So if you're used to bailing them out, they're going to be knocking at your door. But if you say no enough, eventually they'll stop. Eventually they'll start thinking a little more intentional about their own finances and taking care of business up front so that they won't have to ask. Please like and share this video. If you're with me tonight, go ahead and hit that heart button. Let us know that you're there. If you have a comment or a question, or you just agree or understand, or even you've been faced with that situation of giving and giving and giving when you know people have misused their finances, go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section. We're talking tonight about 10 ways to stretch your budget. We're now on to number 4. Give yourself a weekly cash allowance, and hold yourself accountable. Now, the reason I say give yourself a cash allowance is because when the cash is gone, it's gone. So there's nothing more to spend. If we're giving ourselves use of a credit card, we're going to keep spending, and there's no limit until we've run the limit of that credit card up so high that now we're going to try to figure out how we're going to make this payment at the end of the month or when the statement comes due. So this is a practice that is new for me. I wasn't one that carried cash around. I was always one that carried the credit card or the debit card. So this is a new practice for me. So what I do is I use my bank or debit card, as it's, some of you may know it. I use that card to go and withdraw a certain amount of money each week. That cash money stays with me. And if I go to a store, I have to use that cash money to pay for my purchases. And when that money is gone, it's gone. There's no more purchasing for me for that week. And there's a lot of things that I have to consider in that budget because it's not a big budget. I personally allow myself only $60 a week of cash. So if I'm driving to work that week, I have to think about gas. If I didn't pack my lunch that week, I have to think about food. If I need to stop by the store and pick up something that I'm running low on in the household, I have to think about that as well. So that $60 is not going to go far. Also, if, say my daughter, she's home. What if she needs to run to the store? What if she needs something and she needs that cash? Then I'm having to share that as well. Not only that, I got to think about the offerings and things like that when we go to church services and places that we know that we're donating to charity and other things like that. All of that is included in whatever that allowance that I have allotted myself for the week. So we're talking about 10 ways to stretch your budget. We're up to number 5. Number 5. Talk to your creditors about lowering your payments or your interest rates to meet your current financial needs. Now, this is something that if you hadn't been intentional with your finances and you're wondering how you're going to make it over the next several weeks or even months, this is something that you really need to take the initiative to do. One thing that I noticed when I went to look at my credit card statements and a few of the websites and stuff that I'm affiliated with, one thing that I noticed is that it shows on the website that some of them, one of the student loan providers are saying that over the next several months, your payments are going to be accepted without interest rates, with 0 interest rates. And that's going to be important for you to know for those of you who have those student loans, because we know that student loans keep us in financial poverty. It's hard to overcome. Those loans are easy to get, but it takes a lot to get those paid down because of the high interest rates. So with them offering 0 interest rates on student loans right now, it's a good place to go and look at income-driven repayment plans, refinancing. It's a good thing to educate yourself on how you can get those payments down with the interest rates being so low. Also, on some of the credit cards providers, or even with our car payments, I noticed that it says if you're impacted by the crisis that is going on, click here and they have plans in place for you. So if you are impacted, which we all are, and you're having to make payments on things, now is the time to make those phone calls. There are programs here to help you. And if that means delaying your payments for the next few months so that you and your family are put in a better financial situation, by all means, we can't be so prideful that we can't take advantage of those things that are set in place for us. Because if you were with me last night, or if you got an opportunity to check the replay, you know that one thing that's not going away is these high rent payments that you're paying every month. That's not going anywhere, because I can almost bet you that those landlords are going to be knocking at your door in a few weeks wanting their rent payments. So you need to cut the costs wherever you can cut it. And if there are programs set in place for you, and if there are community resources in place for you, now is the time to check on those things. Please like and share this video if you're just joining me. Leave me a comment in the comment section. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask your questions for me now at this time. I'm just glad you're here with me. I'm glad you're here sacrificing when I know that you could be getting ready for bed or doing other things. I'm grateful for you. I know there's so many other things that you could be occupying your time with. So I thank you for making that sacrifice. And also Miss Malaya, who's here, and Miss D, who just came in a few minutes ago. I'm grateful for these young ladies. These young ladies are a blessing to me. And as I grow, I like to see them grow as well. Number 6. Discover new ways to generate income. Now is the time for you to be creative, guys. There's all kind of ways to create income. All kind of ways. And one thing that we all have natural is a talent. And that talent was given to you by your creator, whoever he or she is, whatever you believe. You were blessed and born and created with a talent. That talent is purpose to provide you a means for living. This is what I do. You may do the same thing, but you don't do it like me, because I'm me and I'm authentic. So there's only one that can do it my way, and that's me. You do what you do. And in the way you do it, you're unique, and you add your own little spin on it. And that's okay. We can all generate income with doing what we do and using our gifts to serve others. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So we have to get creative. We know that finances are going to be kind of tight, and the way we spend is going to be put to a test. And so we're going to be a little more intentional with how we spend our money over the next weeks and months. My hopes for you is that you are looking at this video and that you're thinking about ways that you can start developing these habits, so that if a crisis come again, we're not so bothered by what's going on the outside. We're going to continue to press forward and use our gifts and use our talents to continue to grow and develop us and produce in our lives. I told you in our first video that one great idea can change the whole dynamic of the rest of your life. Just one. And some of us are equipped with so much more than just one talent. This young lady sitting next to me, I told you before that she's a business owner. She's 20 years old. She'll see her 21st birthday here next month, God's willing. She has so many talents, and I believe that there's so many more untapped potential talents within her. And she just has to get creative in thinking about how she can use those talents that she has to generate more income. What do you think about the talent you have? What can
I don't know what talent you're talking about.
What can you do right now to generate income? If you think about it, what can you do? Just one thing you can think of that could generate income for you right now.
I don't know.
You don't know, or you don't want to say?
I don't know.
Because there is a difference. Because I can tell you what, one thing that has been a barrier for me is not that I didn't know I had the talent to do what I'm doing, but stepping out of my comfort zone and getting out of my own way to actually get out and do what I'm doing. So there is a difference. We have to be creative in times of desperation because our family has to eat. We have to keep the lights on. So think about one idea can change the whole dynamics of the rest of your life. You have something special within you that can generate and increase income for you and your family. Tonight we're talking about 10 ways to stretch your budget. We are up to number 7. Number 7, swap trades and services. Swap trades and services. And what I mean by this is I have a talent in one area. She has a talent in another area. Well, I can use her services. She can use mine. So that's what we do. We utilize each other's services and there's no charge. We all benefit. If you understand what I'm saying, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know that you're there. Don't forget also to like and share this video. So in a time when situations are as rough as they are getting in the world around us now, you have people in your circle that are connected to you. Now is the time to be really putting that friendship or that courtship to test. Maybe you can't afford to pay the babysitter so that you can work those extra hours. Now's the time to get with your friend who has young kids, that maybe she can put the kids down to bed at night so that you don't have to find a babysitter or worry about them, so that you can pick up that extra shift to make a little extra money. Maybe that friend does hair and you can't afford to go to the hair salon and you want your hair done. I got a friend that braids my hair. So I use her braiding services and she used my brain services. So we're swapping trades and services, stuff that we all can benefit from, and it's not costing us anything at all. Maybe you have a friend that can cook real well, and maybe you're not one real fancy in the kitchen, but yet you have a few dollars. Give those few dollars to add to her grocery bill so that she can cook a meal and she doesn't mind you coming over and eating. That keeps you from going out purchasing fast foods. Hit that like button if you understand what I'm saying by trading and swapping services. Hit that like button and share this video. 10 ways that you can stretch your budget. Number 8, find reasonable ways to cut costs. And this is so hard for us people that live in poverty. This is so hard for us, and I don't know why it is. We rather give up $1 than try to learn ways to efficiently save $1 or help that dollar stretch. There are all kinds of ways that you can cut costs in your family. There's all kinds of ways. There's no need to have $200 and $300 and $400 electric bills every month. It's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. We need to be educating ourselves so that we can find ways to stretch our dollars. We're just giving money away. If we learn more about our money and develop healthier relationships with our finances, there's no reason we should be so concerned about the pandemic that's going on in our society right now. There's no reason. So your electric bill, that's one thing that you can learn to cut the expense on right now. Using your ceiling fans instead of your units in the cool of the day. Keeping your curtains drawn at the heat of the day so that you can preserve the temperature on the inside. Uh, there's all kind of ways to cut costs. Not buying, eating out. That's a way to cut costs. Another way that you can generate income with stuff you already in your house is to detox and declutter the stuff you already have in there and sell it. Because if you sell it, somebody else is going to buy it because somebody is not getting a financial education lesson that you've been getting. So they don't know. They're still looking to spend, spend, spend. You can collect that money by selling that stuff that you haven't used in the last 5 years. Someone's going to buy it. You take that money to put it to good use to dig yourself out of debt. So that is a way that you can stretch your budget. Number 9, pay off one debt at a time while making minimum payments on your other debts. So many of us have debts such as credit card debts and consumer debt, so much debt. I can't say it enough. We just got all kinds of debts. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Pay off one at a time. Focus on one. Make your minimum payments on the rest of them until you get that one paid off. Then you take the money that you were paying on that one debt that you paid off and add it to the next one. If you get time and you look up on YouTube or maybe in a Google search, the snowball effect, this is the kind of debt repayment that I use. So by using that, just in the past 30 days, or even in the past 60 days, just in the past 60 days, I've been able to pay off more than 3 debts, high debts, and have paid down on so much more because I finally learned the secret on how to pay off debts. I didn't know. I was just spinning my wheels, trying to figure out why I wasn't making gains and getting these debts and these credit cards and stuff under control. So learning, reading, YouTubing, being intentional about my finances, trying to reach this here goal of financial freedom has helped me learn so much more, and now I understand. So if you get an opportunity, YouTube it or Google search it, the snowball effect, a way to pay off debt. It works, guys. It works. It's a psychological game. It's motivational. If you like what I'm saying here, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know that you're still with me. Go ahead and like and share this video if you haven't. I see that several of you have tuned in with me. Go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section. I'm glad that you sacrificed your time to be here with me tonight and to learn with us. So we are talking about 10 ways to stretch your budget, and we're up to number 10. Correct? Yeah. We're up to number 10? All right. Number 10, practice paying yourself first. And I talked last night about investing in yourself. Now I'm talking about paying yourself. It's one and the same. It is so depressing that for years I'd work and work and work. And at the end of the month, there's nothing. And I have nothing to show for it other than the fact that I've paid my bills for the month and that we had food to eat. I have a new mindset now. Now my mindset is that if I'm going to work and pay bills and I work hard and I sacrifice so much for my family. One thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pay myself first. So if that means setting up investments that are going directly out of my paycheck, or if that means I have a certain amount of money that I am going to pay myself for that month, that money is going to be set aside. It won't go toward any bills or anything that does not benefit me. If that means it's going in a savings account, whatever that means for you, you do that. And you do that first before anything else is paid. If you like what I'm saying, go ahead and hit that heart button. It makes sense, guys. Why are you going to work yourself to the bone and then you not have any reward from it other than to just give everybody else your money? It just doesn't make sense to me. But that's what we do in a culture of poverty. We're hard workers. I don't discount that. We work hard for our money. But what do we have to show for it? We never give ourselves anything. That's because we're not taught. We're not taught how to have a healthy relationship with our money. That's why we don't have savings. And that's why when a crisis comes or an emergency comes, that's why we're stuck. And that's how we continue to get debt on top of debt on top of debt. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that like button and make sure you share this video. Somebody needs to hear this, guys. Somebody needs to hear it. Pay yourself first. I've given you 10 ways to stretch your budget, but I have one bonus resource that I want to give you. And it's a resource that I've come across today while I was doing my studying. I told you guys I spend several hours a day expanding my knowledge. It's necessary. We have to read, we have to learn. And I come across a resource today that I'm going to utilize and I want to share it with you. Financial Peace University, which is a university connected to Dave Ramsey. You may be familiar with Dave Ramsey. He tells you, he teaches, he has a daily live that comes on YouTube and some of the radio stations. He talked today about offering a free 14-day financial course. Online, it's free. You can binge it. It's on demand. You can get as much or as little of that education as you want. He's offering that for a limited time. The website is financialpeace.com. Financialpeace.com. He's offering a 14-day free trial. It won't cost you a thing, but I can guarantee you that if you would log on and take that course and use the next 14 days to learn something and to get more intentional with your finances, it's going to be beneficial for you. So I just wanted to share that with you. That's something that I'm going to be educating myself with over the next 14 days. And I wanted to share that resource with you as well. Thank you for joining me tonight. This concludes our lesson on financial education. This is 3 of 3. This was in 3 parts. I tried to break it down so that we don't spend so much time at one sitting getting through the points of financial education with you. Also, I told you that if you haven't already got this book, my book, Recreating a Better Me, Chapter 1 talks about financial education. If you don't have this book is available on 3 formats. It's available like this on paperback, in a digital form, and also on audio. So whether you like to sit and read or you just like to listen as someone else do the reading like I do, like a lot of how I learn, it's available on Amazon. So you can get that book also as a resource to add in your library. I'd appreciate that as well. This concludes the financial education part. So I'm thinking next I'm going to start talking about the mindset, reconstructing our thoughts. I believe it is chapter 3 in my book, because in order to move forward, we're going to have a shift in our mindset. So that's where I want to spend tomorrow talking to you about your mindset, our thoughts, and hopefully from there we'll decide where we're going to move forward. I've enjoyed spending this time with you guys. Please like and share this video. Have a good night.